right, good evening. If I can call everyone to order, let the record show that all aldermen are present tonight. This is the Committee of the Whole meeting for Monday, April 8th, 2019. I'm Tara Burkhart, the alderman for the First Ward, along with Alderman Mike Bruno. We'll get started with our call to order, which I've done. Approve Committee of the Whole minutes from March 25th, 2019. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Alderman Bruno with a motion, second with Alderman Marks. Are there any discussion from the dais or public? No. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Passes unanimously. Under our items of business, 3A, consider suspending the rules to allow Alderman Burkhart to chair this meeting and vote on all action items on this agenda. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Alderman McGowan?
Second.
And a second by Alderman Clements. Can we have a voice vote? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
I'll abstain, so 9-0, 1 abstention. 3B, recommend draft ordinance amending Title IV Business and License Regulations, Chapter 2 Liquor Control, Section 4-2-13, License and Fees and Number, adding 2 Class C4 liquor licenses, wine and beer bar. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Alderman Marks, and a second?
Second.
Alderman Bruno.
So this item involves 2 separate requests for Class C4 licenses. Cafe and Bar located at, or to be located at 407 South 3rd is a new business requesting to serve wine and beer along with food items. They have submitted all the required documentation, and if approved tonight, they will be issued the license once granted occupancy approval from our building and fire inspection teams. And this evening, we have, I believe, Mary Barr to answer any questions you might have. And then the second request is from Galena Cellars. They want to upgrade from a C2, which is just a wine bar license, to a C4, which is the wine and beer bar. And they've also submitted all their required documentation and will be issued the upgraded license with the May 1 license renewals. So I have Jean Fernari, who helped put the item together. And again, Ms. Barr is with us as well if there are any additional questions.
And also Jackie Bar.
And Jackie Barr.
That's the bar and cafe and bar.
Okay, well, since you're here, do you want to come up to the podium?
Yes. So again, Mary Bar. This is Jackie Bar. We also have another bar, but she's in Jamaica right now, so,
Living her best life.
yeah. Living her best life. So we own Cafe and Bar, and we own Love Theory, which is a bridal shop in the space right next to it. So Jackie really is a visionary for what she wants to do there at Cafe and Bar, so you can ask her any questions, or if she just wants to tell you a little bit about what we're going to do there.
If everybody's okay, I'll let them go ahead and just tell us about your business concept.
Yes, so I want to create a universally designed space for an all-inclusive environment for people with special needs, anybody in the workforce that would, I don't know, for people with special needs. I have created a program with someone I previously worked with in Plainfield, and I want to create an environment for all of the artists in the area to come and show their work, speak their work, sing their work, and then also provide beverages for any occasion. So from coffee to beer, wine, we'll have kid drinks, we'll have kid special programs going on during the day so they can showcase their art as well. And yeah, just create a nice community space for an already awesome community.
Right, and we think that it fits in with sort of the boutique we have down there anyway. It's very calm. It's not a drink 'em up bar, shot, anything like that.
No.
It's very calm. We will have acoustic Sundays. She's already got some great bands, country from all genres. So, yeah, we have a very nice space down there, we think. And we've already made friends with our neighbors there, Galena Wine Cellars and Anastasia's, and so it's a nice group down there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very good. Do you have any questions from the dais or any comments? Alderman Ruby?
Just a question, when you mentioned kids displaying their art, so how,
So
What-
during the day, I'm going to focus on the like little different programs and stuff that we'll do events where recitals during the day, especially in the summer, or spring break programs, so that moms and dads who are stay at home can bring their kids and, have a glass of wine and their kids could perform, or we'll have performers that cater directly to kids.
Okay.
So singers, or we'll have paint projects and stuff like that, so that it's kind of creating a different version of things to do in the area, while also, you know, having a little bit of an adult life as well.
So similar a little bit to like the pottery places where the kids go
Pottery
and paint?
places,
You'll have
I
things,
mean,
something like that?
Different types of musicians and stuff like that, and I also want to work with a lot of the different, the music shop that teaches kids lessons, and they can come and have a space to perform at no cost.
Okay.
Kind of showcase their work and get them comfortable in front of crowds.
And was displaying children's art part of your vision?
Yes,
And-
so I have, my walls, I have not looked for any other art, because I want adult artists, young artists to come, and I plan to work with some of the high schools
Oh,
to
great.
kind of work with the art teachers to see if they have, you know, star students that they want to showcase. So those are kind of some of the ideas that I have so far.
Okay, great. Yeah, that was my next question, was how you, if somebody has, our child or adult that they're interested in
Yeah.
displaying, how do they get that ball rolling?
So right
Do you have an
now,
application?
I've been doing Facebook, but
Okay.
we're working on our website right now that they'll be able to directly contact me
Okay.
to showcase those, but we will have a lot of events coming up
Sure.
that will allow it. So I'm already working on one called Beast Woman, where it's to empower women. So we'll have a bunch of wineries that were created by women, and then also poetry by local artists in the area. So those kinds of things I'm putting out there for big, and they'll be able to contact me right away.
Okay, great. That sounds wonderful. I think it's going to be a great
Yeah,
addition
thank you.
to the town.
My art won't be on the wall. It's terrible.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Any other questions from here or from the public? No? All right, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Okay. Moving on to 3C, recommend approval of special event application for the Fox Valley Marathon for use of public right-of-way and city services on September 22nd, 2019. Can I have a motion? Alderman Radecki, or Kilberg, sorry, Alderman Kilberg. Alderman Swenson with a second.
Okay, so I'm going to actually talk about the next two items as one, and then you can vote on them separately. So the first item is, they're both relating to the Fox Valley Marathon. The first item is about the city use of public right-of-way and city services. Impacted streets in Geneva will be closed from 7 a.m. to 8:35 a.m. on the day of the race. Route 3138 intersection will actually reopen at 8:05. They anticipate about 4,000 spectators and 3,800 runners. And then the second item, in order, because it is on state highway, we have to do a state resolution for to close their streets. So that is what item D is on the agenda, so rather than me speak again, I'll just do them both together. And I have Kathleen Timoshenko here to answer any questions, and I don't think the applicant is here. So again, this is has been occurring in Geneva for several years now, so it's a really well-run, organized race.
Any questions from the dais or comment? Or from the public? No? All right, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimously. We'll move on to 3D, recommend draft resolution requesting closure of State Routes 31 and 38 for the Fox Valley Marathon on September 22nd, 2019.
So moved.
Alderman Radecki with the motion and Alderman Ruby with the second. Any questions or comments on this one from the public? No? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Carries unanimously. 3E, recommend draft resolution authorizing execution of a contract with Clark Environmental Mosquito Management, Inc. in an amount not to exceed $49,548 for 2019-2020 abatement program. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Alderman Bruno?
Second.
Alderman Marks?
Okay, again, another annual item. The budget provides $60,000 to conduct mosquito abatement within the city. The draft resolution under consideration is to exercise the optional extension of the service contract with Clark Environmental. Clark has been providing mosquito abatement services for the city since 2014, and we're confident in their ability. Services under the contract include public education, outreach, monitoring, larva control, and adult side applications as warranted. And I think, as most of you know, We don't necessarily spray for mosquitoes on a set schedule. It's all based upon that monitoring, and if they see a need, or if our neighboring communities might be spraying, then it's incumbent upon us to do as well. So again, the contract's not to exceed amount, but we do have it within the budget, and it is not just for nuisance, but more so for health and safety. Oh, sorry, and Director Babica is here this evening if you have any additional questions.
Do we have any questions or comments from the dais? Anyone? Yep. Alderman McGowan?
You. I noticed that there's a mosquito hotline, and I guess I was never aware of that before. I was just kind of curious how many calls the mosquito hotline receives every year, but I don't know if, since Clark isn't here, you may not have that answer, Director Babica.
We don't know.
No. Okay.
Oh, okay.
We're good.
Maybe that's something that we could highlight a little bit more, because it seems like it is on the City of Geneva website, but it's kind of buried a bit, so that might be something to just include in the public outreach. And hopefully they don't become inundated with calls on the hotline, but it's just nice for residents to know that that's an option that's included in the contract. Thank you.
Anything else? No. All right, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Carries unanimously. On to 3F, recommend draft resolution authorizing purchase of a 2019 Ford F-450 one-ton truck in the amount of $78,507 from Curry Motors through Suburban Purchasing Co-op. Can I have a motion? Alderman Marks with the motion?
Second.
That guy over there. All right. Alderman Clements.
Okay, the recommendation before you this evening is to purchase a 2019 Ford F-450 one-ton dump truck with a snowplow salt spreader from Curry Motors of Frankfurt with outfitting by Henderson Products for a total cost of $78,507. The 2020 capital equipment budget includes $85,000 for this purchase to replace a 2003 truck. The vehicle is a critical piece of frontline equipment used for snow removal, asphalt repairs, tree trims, and removals. And included in the packet are the maintenance logs and costs along with pictures of the current state of the vehicle. And this was through a purchasing co-op. And I have Superintendent Landers here in case you have any additional questions.
Do we have any questions from the dais or any comments? Anybody from the public? All right, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Carries unanimously. On to 3G, recommend draft resolution authorizing execution of an easement for electric distribution at 516 Peck Road. Can I have a motion? Alderman Bruno, and a second?
Second.
Alderman Marks?
So this one's a relatively easy one again. The homeowner wants to dedicate an easement to the City of Geneva so they can bury the electric across an open parcel to the west of their house, and that way, in case in the future, if they want to sell off that parcel, the electric's already done and we have our easement. So I have Superintendent right here if there's any more detailed questions than that.
Alderman McGowan?
Thank you, Chairman Berger. I apologize if I missed this information in the packet, but who's responsible for the costs involved with burying the utility wires?
You're here, you might as well.
The cost to bury the utility wires is always on the individual that wants that done, so it would be the homeowner in this case.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Do they plan to do this soon? Or is this,
Good question, I don't know the answer.
but the right would be?
I would assume that they do, because they're doing that at this time, but I really don't know.
Okay. Any other questions or comments from the dais? Anybody from the public? No? All right, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Carries unanimously. Thank you, Hal. 3H, recommend certificate of acceptance for Aldi at 975 East State Street. Can I have a motion? Alderman McGowan? Second, Alderman Kilberg.
Okay, so this is a certificate of acceptance for the public right-of-way improvements and storm sewer improvements to accommodate the Aldi expansion project at 975 East State Street. Public Works staff has recently confirmed that all of the associated punch list items for this project have been satisfactorily completed. With this certificate of acceptance, the remaining balance of the corresponding letter of credit supplied by the developer may be released. I have Assistant Director of Public Works, Brian Schreiber, here if there's any additional questions.
Do we have any questions or comments from the dais? No? Anyone from the public? All right, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Carries unanimously. On to 3I, recommend draft resolution authorizing execution of an intergovernmental agreement with the City of St. Charles for construction and construction engineering of the Gray Street Rehabilitation Project. Alderman Bruno with the motion. Can I have a second?
Second.
Alderman Marks, thank you.
Okay, so over the past year, Geneva and St. Charles staff have met several times to coordinate a combined Gray Street resurfacing project along our mutual boundaries. The project will commence on Gray Street at Logan Avenue and extend west just past South 12th Street. Originally, the project extended from Anderson Boulevard to the west end of Gray Street, but St. Charles has found numerous utility repairs on their side, and they needed to reduce the project scope so they would have enough money to take care of those issues. An IGA between Geneva and St. Charles is necessary to allow for this project to proceed to construction. The IGA has been reviewed and approved by both city attorneys for both councils' considerations. The City of St. Charles Public Works has taken the lead in preparing the plans necessary for the Gray Street Improvement Project and will oversee the bidding, testing, and construction management of the project. They opened the bids for the road projects last Thursday, and we have worked with St. Charles to arrive at an equitable split on the cost as outlined in the packet. We will continue to work with St. Charles to get the balance of Gray Street and Division Street completed, hopefully in the coming near future. And I have, again, Assistant Director Schreiber here, as well as Director Babica, if you have any additional questions.
Alderman Radecki.
I guess I have one question for either one of you guys. I don't know. Might want to bring the big guy up for this one. I don't know. We'll see. No, I'm just kidding. I guess there was a good question that was raised before in the packet online about not being able to extend this from Anderson Boulevard all the way. And, you know, it's a shame that we can't do this entire roadway at one time and get an agreement with them. And not to, I don't want this to sound like playing hardball or not, but, you know, did we give any consideration to saying, hey, look, let's just wait till we can do the entire street when you guys have all of your ducks in a row so we can do it from Anderson all the way and do it one time and do it right in an entire piece? Did you guys contemplate that at all?
We did not. I know we've had several discussions with St. Charles to try and get that section of Gray Street done. And they just now finally have the money in order to do their part of it. So we were of the opinion that we're better off doing something now instead of waiting.
Yeah. Okay, so there's really there is no point in postponing this until we can do the whole thing, or is it economically, you know, are there economic benefits to doing the whole thing at once maybe rather than half and half? And
Well,
it's probably
yeah.
going to cost us a little bit more money when they do get their money in order to do the other.
We would definitely recommend that we don't do half at a time.
Yeah.
You know, we'd much rather wait until St. Charles has the money to do their side so that we can do the whole thing, the whole width at the same
Yeah,
time.
so you want 100% of something rather than zero.
And just to
yeah.
clarify, to make sure that everybody understands, when Brian refers to the whole, he's talking about the width, not the length,
Sure.
and you were talking about the length.
Well,
So I just want to make sure when you say we'd rather do 100%, we want to do 100% of the width.
well, I want to do 100% of the
And we
length.
would love to do
yeah.
100%
Right.
of all of it,
Right.
but it's one of those things that when the money's there, you do what you can do, because if you bypass that project, you don't know when it gets back on the list.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Oh, Alderman McGowan.
You. So what is the time frame again for this project,
This would be starting this summer,
starting this summer? And it would be completed approximately when?
this summer.
Oh, so it would be quick. It wouldn't really affect the high school ongoings too much.
The whole idea is to get it done before the school opens
Yeah,
up.
which I'm sure that was like one of the first things you thought of.
Yes.
So I think it will be a good improvement. I know that road is pretty rough. You can even see it on satellite imagery, all the major cracks in the road.
That's why we've been after them
Yeah,
for several years, to try and get
so-
something going there.
That's everything I have, but thank you for your work and diligence on getting this project started.
Chair,
Yeah, Alderman Kilburg.
would you happen to know what the utility issues are that they're referring to here, that St. Charles is not able to afford to move forward with those repairs?
Well, as a part of the preliminary design process, We, in conjunction with St. Charles, did a lot of televising of the storm sewers and sanitary sewers. And televising showed that there was a lot more repairs on their side that they needed to do before they could.
Okay. It isn't that old a neighborhood, I wouldn't think that they'd have that kind of deterioration, but apparently that's the case. Thank you.
Alderman Bruno.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to say thanks for the patch job on that eastern portion of Gray Street. It's not a great road, but it's passable until such time we were able to do that. Just out of curiosity, when working out these types of intergovernmental agreements, how do we decide who takes the lead on these things? Is it curb cuts? Who has the most utilities on it?
This one was an easy one because St. Charles is using MFT money, which has a higher degree of difficulty, and we just told them, you know, if you're going to use MFT money, you're going to take the lead and we'll reimburse you.
Okay, thank you.
The project itself is going to define who takes that lead,
Yeah,
who initiates it.
thanks.
Can I ask who handles the communication efforts with the Geneva residents? Is that something Geneva takes the lead on our side of the street and St. Charles, takes on their residents?
Yes, we'll take care of the notification on our side as part of our road program.
Very good.
So they'll be invited to the open house that we have. There will also be updates on our construction webpage. Notices will get sent out on a regular basis. That's also dependent upon the information coming from St. Charles, so we can get that, push that information out.
Very good. Anything else from the days? Anybody from the public? No? All right, all those in favor, please vote aye. Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you. Let's see, 3J, recommend draft resolution authorizing execution of change order number 8 in the additional amount of $37,940 for wastewater treatment plant improvements with IHC Construction Companies, increasing the total contract amount from $10,579,638 to $10,617,578. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Alderman Bruno with the motion, Alderman Marks with the second.
So you've seen a few of these previously. This is actually change order number 8. There's a couple changes in there, and there was a memo in the packet summarizing what those change orders are. There's some increases, some decreases, but the net change is $37,940. These change order requests are IEPA SRF loan eligible and will be funded under our loan. And I have Superintendent Van Guscom here this evening if you have any questions.
Alderman Kilberg.
Just one question. We're still looking at a September, October timeframe for completion?
It's actually July, end of July is where substantial
Okay.
completion should be completed by then.
So they're actually ahead of schedule?
Final completion was the September timeframe, but substantial completion is at the end of July.
Okay.
So, yep, we're
Good,
doing well.
thank you.
Any other questions from up here? Comments? Anyone from the public? All right, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Carries unanimously. 3K, recommend draft resolution authorizing waiver of bidding process and purchase of Itron 100W water meter ERTs from United Systems at a cost per unit of $72 throughout fiscal year 2020, not to exceed $300,000, meters and ERTs combined. Can I have Alderman Bruno? Second. And Alderman McGowan with the second.
Okay, so this item and the next item are tangentially related, as one's for the meters and one's for the ERTs. So on this item, we're talking about the ERTs. We got 3 quotes from local representatives for our water meter system. Although recommending the lowest quote from United Systems at a cost of $72 per ERT, it's not a formal bid, and as such, staff is requesting that competitive bidding be waived and have local representation in case we have any problems with the ERTs. And I'll just go ahead and talk about the meters. Similar idea, we only have a sole source. There's only one authorized agent who can sell us the meters for for the census meters that we're looking for. So again, that one would waive bidding as well. And the two projects combined would not exceed $300,000 for the fiscal year. But essentially, we get the products, put them in inventory, and then we start deploying them. So Superintendent Van Gescam is here if you have any additional questions.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments from the public? All right, all those in favor, please vote aye. Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimously. 3L, recommend draft resolution authorizing waiver of bidding process and purchase of census water meters from Core and Maine throughout fiscal year 2020 at a cost not to exceed $300,000, meters and ERTs combined. Alderman Bruno with the motion. And can I have a second? Alderman Marks with the second. We already heard from Stephanie on this one. Any discussion or comment? No? All right, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimously. 3M, recommend draft resolution authorizing waiver of bidding process and purchase of wastewater plant polymers from Midwest Chemical and Equipment at a cost of $1.52 per pound throughout fiscal year 2020 at a cost not to exceed $85,000. Have a motion?
So moved.
Alderman Marks, the motion. Alderman Swanson with the second.
Okay, so the wastewater treatment facility utilizes polymer to aid in the thickening and dewatering of its processed sludge. Due to a price increase of the previous polymer vendor in 2018, staff evaluated an alternative polymer based upon effectiveness, feed rates, and cost per pound of sludge processed. Solinus provided the higher quality, more active polymer that requires less volume of the polymer solution to be utilized with greater sludge feed rates, which reduce the overall cost of the polymer per pound of sludge. So therefore, staff is recommending entering into an agreement with Midwest Chemical and Equipment for the purchase of Solinus Prestol K144L polymer at $1.42 per pound delivered for the period May 1st through April 30th, 2020. That's May 1st, 2019 through April 30th, 2020. And due to the proprietary nature of the polymer, staff also requests that the City Council waive competitive bidding for this purchase. So if you understood everything I said, great. And if not, Superintendent Van Gescam is present this evening to answer any additional questions.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's 150.
Sorry, $1.52 per pound.
Do we have any comments or questions from the dais? No? That was so fascinating that we're... Anyone from the audience? No? All right. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimously. That leads us to new business, public comment. I hear Director of Public Works, Rich Babica, has some new business to talk to us about.
Oh, I heard.
We wanted to take this opportunity to kind of update the city council, or the committee rather, on a developing situation that we've encountered with our water main relocation project along the Union Pacific Railroad. We're still assessing a utility conflict behind Brigham Court. This will result in a change order above and beyond the change order that was previously authorized at the city administrator when the city council authorized this contract. We don't have a dollar amount. We're confident that we're going to have that change order ready by the next council meeting. However, due to the emerging situation and the factors that we're dealing with, neither myself nor Superintendent Van Gescam feel it'd be prudent to not bring this to your attention at this time.
So again, essentially, we're giving you a heads up that likely next week we'll have a change order that won't have come through the committee of the whole because the project is in process, and we want to keep the project moving. So we wanted to give you a heads up, and as we have more information, we will certainly share that.
Alderman Kilberg.
Does that relate to all the excavation that's taking place there right to the entrance of the Park District offices? Is that what's going on there?
That was part of the previously approved contract by the city council.
Okay.
For the water main relocation conflict with the Union Pacific Railroad and
Okay.
our mains on Western.
So this is, what you explained to us previously then was, that's a separate issue then?
Well, the city council approved a a large contract that involved a number of water main relocations. That was one of the sub-projects.
Okay.
Both under the same contract, but they're separate projects, but they're both related to the railroad.
Okay, right. It seems like it seems like that was a pretty involved project that's taking place there along Western. Is the other one going to be just as involved?
Well, the one at Western was really involved because it required a casing to be installed underneath the Union Pacific Railroad right-of-way.
Okay,
And a casing is basically a pipe inside of a pipe. So that was far more involved than what a classic water main installation was. So in that sense,
probably so.
yeah, because of the utility conflicts in the railroad.
Thank you.
Do you have any other questions from here, Alderman Radecki?
Is it going to be a similar type of situation with Brigham? Is that what's developing?
I think at this time it's too premature to really know. We're still really assessing what the conflict is and what's the best engineering solution to work around it.
Thanks.
Any other questions or comments? Sounds like we'll have more information next week.
Yeah, hopefully.
All right,
Couple more
thanks.
sleepless nights.
All right, thank you. Thanks for the update. Any other new business? Anyone from the audience? No? Then I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
And all those in favor, please vote aye. Aye. Any opposed? This meeting's adjourned. Thank you.
Nicely done.
Oh, thanks.